Wait. What the fuck? This is Pitch Cold Black here, and welcome to the Skulls General Reviews number 617, sorry about that, in which today I am going to be reviewing the W.H. Allen hardback of Doctor Who and the Tomb. Let us begin this review by taking a look at the cover art. So we have, in orange we have Doctor Who and the Tomb of the Cybermen, Joe Davies, set against this nice blue cover. And then we have the illustration for this story, which, as you may be able to see, is actually the wrong Cyberman, unfortunately. And basic story behind this is when he was drawing the illustration, Jeff Cummins was supplied with a picture of the wrong Cyberman for this novelisation cover. Which is pretty odd, but anyways, for the cover art we have this picture of a Cyberman, which I believe is an invasion of these kind of light rays and stuff kind of coming out from the top and the bottom, then inside this kind of rocky cavern. Quite a nice cover overall, but I'm kind of disturbed by that. Don't know if you guys can pick that up. Let me just take it out of the protective sleeve that I have it in quickly. That thing down there. See that little bit down there? That may just be pareidolia, something that I'm saying that isn't really there, but to me that looks like a person being crushed by rocks. Don't know if you guys can see that. The camera's finally focusing on it, but I don't know about you guys, but that looks a little bit odd to me. And then on the spine we have Doctor Who and the Tomb of the Cybermen, Longbow W.H. Allen, and then for the back it's just this cream blank back, because all Dust Jacket Target hardbacks do have this kind of cover layout where they have the cover, the name on the spine, and then the cover, and then just the blank back. And for the innards we have the synopsis and jacket illustration by Jeff Cummins, £2.95 net, £2.95 net, which I wish all Target hardbacks were that kind of price nowadays. It'd be a lot easier to collect them. And now for the bio. The Cybermen, silver indestructible monsters whose only goal is power, seem to have disappeared from their planet Telos, with a party of archaeologists joined by the Doctor, Jamie and Victoria. When a party of archaeologists joined by the Doctor, Jamie and Victoria land on the Cybermen's barren, deserted planet, they uncover what appears to be their tomb, but once inside it becomes clear that the Cybermen are not dead, and some in the group of archaeologists desperately want to reactivate these monsters. How can a Doctor defeat these ruthless power-seeking humans and Cybermen? And then here we've got a little rip in the spine, as you can see here, a little rip in the pages, because this is unfortunately an ex-library. I don't mind getting ex-library Target hardbacks because they're such rare books. I mean, it would be nice to get some non-EX library Target hardbacks, but just to get any Target hardback in my opinion is nice. especially this one, for which I purchased for 20 quid off of eBay. This is a legit Tomb of the Cybermen hardback I purchased for 20 quid off of eBay, signed by Deborah Watling. What makes this even crazier is that I was speaking to somebody a while ago about this book, and they said they spent, I believe it was 60 quid, I'm not going to say their name, but I believe they spent 60 quid just on a non-signed copy of this hardback. So I do believe I got a really good bargain here, and I have seen Deborah Watling's autograph that on something that I know that was signed by her in person before. So I do know this is her legit, genuine autograph. Then there we have Doctor in the Tomb of the Cybermen at the top up there. There you go. Focused immediately. Good camera. And then there you've got other titles available in the Doctor Who Target novelisation series. And then there you've got the content, an introduction, and 13 chapters, and the index for the 13 chapters. This is a 141 page long Doctor Who book spread across 13 chapters. And then for right at the back of the book we have a bit about Jerry Davis and the picture of Jerry Davis himself up there, and a bit about Jerry Davis. Printed in Great Britain, ISBN 04902202262X. So yeah, and now what is now for my own personal thoughts and opinions on Doctor Who and the Tomb of the Cybermen Target hardback, as well as the general consensus. Right, on Goodreads this Doctor Who book has gotten an average rating of 3.76, and it generally has really solid reviews. A lot of 4-star reviews, in fact that appears to be the norm. There's like nearly 8 4-star reviews, maybe 7 or 8 4-star reviews on Goodreads. So this book has gotten a lot of praise on Goodreads. There is a few 3-star reviews and 2-star reviews occasionally splashed in there, but in my personal opinion I agree with the general consensus, and in my opinion this is a fantastic target novelisation in my personal opinion. Very good characterisation overall. I would say the characterisation in this target novelisation is pretty much perfect, almost perfect I would say. Patrick Troughton's Doctor is captured really well, so is Victoria's characterisation as well, so is Jamie's characterisation as well. And this is something I want to point out with Jamie's characterisation. It was like this as well in the target novelisations of the Ice Warriors and the Abominable Snowmen, with some accents. You know how when someone with a certain accent kind of like says a word and it sounds like it's spelt differently to actually how it's spelt, if you know what I mean? Well, Jamie has one of those accents, and it's and in this target novelisation and the invasion, not the invasion target novelisation, might have been the invasion target novelisation, well, I'm not sure, but definitely in the Abominable Snowmen and the Ice Warrior target novelisation, as well as this one, that's kind of that kind of thing that I just explained about the accents and whatnot with Jamie is written into this book very well, which is really nice to see. It's let me just try and focus this. Come on. But Jerry Davis has written that kind of inflections on Jamie's character into this book, which is really nice to see. and this camera is not focusing at all. There it is. You can see it just right there. Let's see if there's a better example. There you go. There's quite a good example right there. Right. Let me see if I can find on the camera. Let me see. Right there. My name is Jamie. So yeah. So the characterizations of the Doctor, Victoria, and Jamie, and there goes the book. Well, the Doctor, Jamie, and Victoria are very well characterized in this novelisation, and I can easily picture them slipping into their roles, or I can easily see Patrick Troughton, Fraser Hines, and Deborah Watling playing those characters. For the kind of villains of this story, the Cybermen, like at the end of this book, I was kind of left with the kind of reaction of, what is that it? Is that really it? I also had the same reaction with, in hindsight, I would also have the same reaction with the actual television story. What I mean by this is that the Cybermen, they don't really do a lot in this story, especially, and the novelisation, that's kind of no exception. In this novelisation, it's 141 pages long, and the Cybermen don't appear until the end of, like, I think it's like page 87, 88. The Cybermen don't appear until, and like in the television stories, I don't really get much to do. I mean, the Cybermen just kind of fumble around really and don't really get much done. I mean, they released the Cybermats, which attack a few people, and that's the only real kind of outstanding thing that they do in this story, which is a bit disappointing for a Cyberman story. Yeah, the Cybermen don't really get too much to do. I mean, they come out of their tombs and just wander around really, and don't get to do a terrible lot really. They come back up from their tombs into the kind of control room. The cyber controller gets into a fight at the end. Some action scenes with the Cybermen does happen, but not really a lot happens with the Cybermen in this story. And that is similar for the TV story as well. So the Cybermen themselves, like in the television story, don't get a terrible lot to do in this target novelisation, in my opinion, which is a bit of a negative for me. Actually, I'm not sure at the same time how I feel about this negative. I mean, at one point in time, I'm tempted to forgive the story and the novelisation overall, because this is a story about the archaeological discovery of a frozen tomb of Cybermen, and just the reactions of the archaeologists and what happened to the archaeologists afterwards. So I may be able to forgive this negative, but I'm not 100% sure yet. The Cybermen were very well characterised as well, but there was another problem I had with the Cybermen. As you all probably know, the Cybermen are emotionless kind of hybrid human, well, cyborgs basically, and basically have no emotions whatsoever, as you probably know. Why I bring this up is because at some points in time in this book, Jerry Davis ends off a Cyberman's line of dialogue with an exclamation mark and not a full stop. In my opinion, all of the lines of dialogue with a Cyberman should have just ended in a full stop or a comma if it was going to continue, not an exclamation mark, because that does kind of show some emotion, or that kind of does indicate that the Cybermen have emotion and they're not really supposed to. I mean, that's a really kind of picky thing, but I might as well point it out in this review. The archaeologists themselves were very good in this novel, in this novelisation, and I would say they were equally as good in this novelisation as they were in the television series. Klieg, Captain Hopper, Captain Cybermen, and Viner, and all of the others are all extremely well characterised in this Doctor Who book. It's been a while since I've seen a television story, so I might need to rewatch that again, but Viner in particular was a very interesting character because he basically is extremely paranoid of the Cybermen's tomb building that this book, or that this story is mainly set in, and you can kind of just gradually see him having like this kind of character arc throughout the entire novelisation of him just kind of getting more and more mentally unstable with every passing second. So his characterisation in this story, or in this novelisation, is really good. And yeah, that's what I've really got to see on the characterisation. Main trio, really good. Could easily imagine the actual actors playing these roles. Cybermen, a little bit emotional in some places and didn't really have a lot to do and seemed rather inconsequential overall to the entire story, but still were pretty good, and the archaeologists themselves are really good. And now for the kind of plot for this story. Overall, nothing really much has changed from the start, from the actual television story, or nothing really has changed in terms of from the television story to the nothing much has nothing really at all has been changed in the process of adapting the television story to this novelisation. It's all practically the same. Cybermen come in like halfway through the story, actually over halfway through the story, but I mentioned that earlier. Kind of roughly 90 pages in out of a 140 page long Doctor Who book, so 50 pages from the end, so they do get into it a little bit later on. But the plot itself overall is still practically word for word the Tomb of the Cybermen TV series story. But yeah, so the plot in this book overall was really good, and so yeah, the plot overall was a really good was really good in this novelisation. Nothing much really has been changed at all. I think there was a couple of changes here and there that I didn't really agree with, such as at the very end of this story, when they're outside the tomb, and after they finish chatting and whatnot, the camera pans down and you see this like cybermat crawling off, and then you also get to see the same cybermat coming out of the tomb doors at the end of episode 4 in the actual TV story. That wasn't adapted into this novelisation, which I was a little upset about, because I thought that was a really good moment in the actual TV story, and I felt should have stayed into the actual novelisation itself. But now on my overall thoughts and opinions on this novelisation. In my personal opinion, this was an extremely enjoyable target novelisation overall, and if you can pick it up, I would say get it. Or if you're interested in getting it, I would get it, because in my opinion this is a solid target novelisation. Very well deserving of a concrete 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Jeff Cummins and Fraser Hines are coming to Dimensions in Newcastle this year, which I'm going to be going to, so hopefully I'll get this signed by them. So I'll then have a Doctor and Tomb of the Cybermen WHL and hardback signed by Deborah Watling, Fraser Hines and Jeff Cummins, the illustrator of the cover, which should be really awesome. So overall, Doctor and the Tomb of the Cybermen hardback Target novelisation gets a solid 8 out of 10 from me. So like, vote, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Pitch Go Black, dematerialising.